This lecture is on body language. Reading body language is important because it helps you understand the people around you. Are they enthused or bored? Do they say they agree, but their posture and facial expressions show otherwise? This knowledge will help you develop your empathy and facilitate you seeing when coworkers or your direct reports are struggling or filled with anxiety. Training in body language awareness is being used increasingly to create more dynamic companies and also for more satisfying customer service. A useful thing to notice is whether a person wants to talk to you or prefers you leave or at least move away. Some of this was covered in the lecture on the most honest part of the body. To recap briefly, notice if their feet are pointed towards you and whether their arms are open and they have a smiling face indicating welcomeness. If someone looks down or away when you enter, they either just had bad news or don't want to see you. Now let's talk about different parts of the body. First, the face. Even though we can somewhat manipulate the face, we can't completely. And here are ways to read another person's emotions in their facial expressions and head movements. She looks up and is smiling, happy, while looking down with lips pursed, not happy. Tension is shown through flaring of nose, tightening of the jaw, lips tightened and disappeared. Notice in meetings if after you make a proposal, you notice Philippe's nostrils flare or Lucinda's jaw clench, then you know they were not pleased, despite what their words said. And watch the eyes because they make it very difficult to hide what you feel. If Ling's eyes widen, he's surprised, or perhaps you've said some name he recognizes. Squinting eyes show fear and suspicion of others or other negative emotions. Blocking your eyes, either by closing or covering with your hands, indicates you don't want to see something, though that might be some bad news or a plan you're listening to. Open and wide eyes indicate contentment. Fluttering your eyes shows confusion or struggle. Eye contact shows you're interested in what the other person is saying and want to connect when you're speaking. But don't stare down people, as it can get too intense. And if you gaze away too much, it gives the sign you're disinterested, though you might just need a break from the eye sharing. Remember that eyes not looking at the subject can be seen as rude. In certain Asian cultures, looking into others' eyes is rude, so be culturally aware. Sneering with the eyes indicates contempt. Rolling your eyes or looking to the side and sighing shows displeasure. In fact, marriage experts John Gottman and Joan DeClaire found by observing thousands of couples that if one rolls their eyes when the other says something, this is a sign the marriage likely will not last. And then there's the tongue. Jutting it out shows someone has goofed up or they know they're getting away with something. Similarly, crinkling your nose shows you don't like something or someone. Nail biting shows stress. Don't do it. Let's not forget blushing. That shows when someone is embarrassed or their secret is out. The opposite, blanching, or with less color, shows extreme surprise or fear. Finally, for the face, positive reaction shows gravity defying uplift, turning the head up, while negative feelings are indicated if someone hangs their head down. Hands and arms. As with other body parts, happiness or approval is shown with arms up in the air, while negativity creates them down. We might talk about that sinking feeling when we get bad news, and you can see it in the body. If we disapprove of something, we might fold our arms tightly around our chest. But arms crossed can also mean being relaxed, so beware of the subtle signs. If someone walks with their hands behind their backs, it often indicates they see themselves as higher status. Arms akimbo, where your hands are on the hip with the elbow sticking out, is a dominance behavior. The person is trying to assert their authority in the group. On the other hand, if you see someone sitting down with arms open and perhaps resting on the nearby chair, this shows comfort. Your posture is important. It can show confidence or fear, pulling back. And gestures, have enough but not too many, and don't point at people. Then there's body space. Don't invade others' space. And note what's the normal body space in the culture you're operating. In some Western cultures, body space, which is close to an arm's length away, is larger than in some Eastern cultures. When you travel to another country, notice how close people are standing to one another. Then there's the affect in your voice, the tone, the inflection. Do you make a statement as if it's a question? I really want you to do that? Has a different meaning than I want you to do that. And is your tone harsh, critical, versus calm and open? Do you have a lack of defensiveness? Because defensiveness, don't say that. Do you have an attitude of curiosity? Tell me more about that. You can hear it in the tone. Let's talk about touch, which can be a powerful communicator. You need to be very careful who you touch and where you touch them. If you have a relationship that's solid and feels mutually positive, a light touch on the arm or the back in congratulation or agreement might be appropriate. Touch can be a powerful way to connect. Beware though, because touch can also communicate dominance, and that's usually not appropriate if you want to create more collegiality. Let's not forget the handshake, as was mentioned in the First Impressions lecture. Strong, not quick, not long, not dominating. And don't cover with the other hand, because that's seen like a politician's handshake. If you have sweaty hands, privately wipe them off before a handshake, because it is no fun to shake a wet hand. Some cultures bow, they don't shake their hands. In conclusion, reading body language helps you understand the people you work with. It helps develop stronger relationships and create more positive work teams. By paying attention to the clues from the face, eyes, arms, posture, and voice, you will become a better manager or coworker.